Today we're looking at an introduction to finPOWER Connect Cloud and the Client Connect portal. This will be a brief introduction of each and where to go in finPOWER Connect to configure and customize them. Licensing for finPOWER Connect Cloud, web services and automation and portals is required to utilize the functionality being covered in this session. We'll start with finPOWER Connect Cloud. The initial configuration has a comprehensive document available from the Intersoft website, so we'll not be covering the full initial setup today specifically. Obviously, one of the biggest differences is that finPOWER Connect Cloud can be accessed via a web browser, meaning depending on the configuration of the lender's web services, users could access finPOWER Connect Cloud from anywhere, such as mobile lenders out on the road. This also means it can be accessed on all sorts of devices, such as phones and tablets, etc. So without further ado, let's jump into finPOWER Connect Cloud and have a look at the basics and some more points of difference between finPOWER Connect and finPOWER Connect Cloud. On first login, we're presented with our homepage, and in this case, our sample user dashboard. The user dashboard is a sample widget available that is supplied with finPOWER Connect. When finPOWER Connect Cloud is first configured, you will have the option to automatically add this widget to the homepage, which I'll show you a bit later. The dashboard is comprised of seven different tabs which display information relevant to the current logged in user. So today we're looking at the administrator's information currently. The first tab, being the main tab, shows the boxes with snapshot information of tasks due, upcoming tasks, open accounts, quotes and applications, monitored accounts under categories A, B or C, and recently added records and recently updated records. There are also 4 buttons available for quick quote, new application, new loan and new deposit. The user dashboard widget settings have options of what to include in terms of information displayed and which buttons appear. For example, if the lender is not licensed for applications, you wouldn't see this button or configure it as part of the settings. The second tab is for tasks due, which displays a user's tasks within a specified period, showing the oldest outstanding first. The third tab is for viewing upcoming or future dated tasks to see what is coming up. How far in advance is configurable as well. I've got this set to 14 days currently, hence why the list is a little small. The fourth tab displays quotes and applications that the user has on the go. The fifth is open accounts. The sixth displays monitored accounts for this user, split into their A, B or C monitor categories as configured in the settings. In our example, we're seeing monitor category A labelled overdue on the left and monitor category B labelled non-financial on the right. The seventh displays workflows that are currently assigned to the logged in user and are due. Next, on to the basic navigation for finPOWER Connect Cloud, including where the settings are. So down the left-hand side, you will see some icons. This house button here will return you to the home page. The records button with an icon with the 2 squares displays any records you currently have open. So in this case, none. If you had an account record open, for example, it would appear here. Multiple records will open with their own tabs which display across the top, similar to how a web browser displays tabs. The magnifying glass icon launches the quick search function, and the search box for each category contains some text to prompt the user on what criteria can be used. For example, in the quick search box, you can search for a record's code, name, a date of birth, email or phone number. If you click on the account option, you can search for account ID, account name, or external ID, etc. The icon displaying the check mark launches the finPOWER Connect Cloud Task Manager to show the users their tasks, workflows, and any custom folders they may have configured. This is where a user can find any outstanding items or work in progress that they need to address. for example, workflows. And workflow items can be completed via the summary, just as they can from finPOWER Connect. The page icon here accesses the reporting area in finPOWER Connect Cloud. And the circle of arrows icon is the process page, where you'll find items from several different menus within finPOWER Connect, such as the combine clients from the client menu or export bank transactions from the transaction menu. You can see here there are headers to help you find the process that you're looking for. The additional tabs up the top will show any current background processes that are running and any future scheduled tasks, if configured, via the finPOWER Connect configuration menu. This is done in finPOWER Connect itself. You can see some examples I've got set here showing scheduled account processes, direct debits, and an export bank transactions process set to go immediately after. The cogs icon down the bottom here is the administration menu, where some of the admin library settings can be viewed and in some cases edited. This area is a work in progress currently, and more functionality is being added with each new version. The three lines up in the top left-hand corner display a customizable main menu. What is displayed here is added by default when you run the configuration wizard in finPOWER Connect. You can see there are headers indicating what the menu item belongs to and is closely aligned with finPOWER Connect itself. For example, the PPSR search update is under the security header. In finPOWER Connect, it's in the security menu, and so on. In the middle of the page is a search bar, which when clicked gives example prompts on what can be used to search. However, it's not an exhaustive list. You can search for more than what is listed here. Over to the right-hand side, we have a few buttons. The little person here is your user menu. From here, you can do things like sign out, change device options, which control defaults for layouts and things, change your password, access user preferences, or global settings if you're an administrator. The finPOWER Connect Cloud configuration menu and the help contents for cloud. The cloud configuration menu is currently able to be viewed, but not edited. As it's still under construction. Next to the user button is a notifications area, and next to that is the add menu. Here you can find things like add new account, new application, new clients, etc. And as with a lot of things in finPOWER Connect Cloud, this menu is also customizable. Moving on to records themselves, if we take a quick look at a client Amelia sample, here you can see that the same pages we're used to seeing in finPOWER Connect are all available, but instead of down the left-hand side, these are tabs up the top. We'll start with our key details page, and there are hyperlinks all over this page that can take you straight to where you need to go. For example, clicking on the email address will open a send email window. A handy hint for this form in finPOWER Connect Cloud is that web-based systems don't always have the same right-click abilities as the desktop-based software. So for example, smart tags work in a different way. If we click in the body of the email, you'll see the available smart tags appear down the bottom and can be selected like so. You might wonder where the Actions menu has gone and the Communications menu. You can see down the bottom here, we've got 4 buttons available to us, and the little blue one is a very handy one to remember. This is where our actions, communications, and additional options now live. For example, on a client, this could be completing credit inquiries or bank statement inquiries, adding a new account or workflow. If we look at an account example, we have things like payment arrangements, payment received, refinance, restructure, etc. And the great thing about this menu is it also shows additional actions all in the one menu that you'd normally find on a button strip or as a button in the summary in finPOWER Connect. Things like adjusting account balances, revising monitor categories, and so on. These options are still also available as buttons on their own relevant pages as well. Moving on to the configuration side of things, we move over to finPOWER Connect. And the majority of the settings are located under the Tools menu Web option. You'll see here there are 4 menu items, 3 of which are required for the full configuration and are detailed in the comprehensive documentation available, but we'll show you quickly. The finPOWER Connect Cloud configuration menu controls things like the wizard to initialize a new installation, which is here, security and timeout settings, multi-factor identification settings, progressive web application settings, which allow you to save a web link to a device as an icon so that it launches like an application. The look and feel of the theme, including the login page, and this includes customizations for the coloring for widgets, definable logos, and so on. Settings for the home pages are also configured in here, and customizing the user dashboard itself. So if we drill in down into here, we can see our user dashboard is here. And this is where you customize what you see. The menu settings are also available here, which is how you customize the menus that we just saw, the main menu and the add menu. And under forms and actions, you can customize parameters or override widgets with custom widgets as and where you need to for processes throughout finPOWER Connect Cloud. There's also other settings such as specific permission-based settings, and down under the processes option on the scheduled page, this is where we can create the scheduled processes to run that we saw before. Obviously, this is a very high-level overview of these configuration settings, as they could easily be several sessions on its own. But again, as I mentioned, there is documentation available to walk you through this process, and I highly recommend running that wizard if it's a first-time setup. The other 2 options are the web configuration file, which allow you to set overriding internet and email settings where applicable. Set accessible file locations such as UNC paths, and setting your addressing database. The web subscriber is created automatically for the demo subscriber option, but you can choose to add your own, and you can set your own IP whitelist settings. These 2 are then further set in the web admin areas of the web-based finPOWER Connect Cloud admin and web services admin areas, respectively. Again, covered in a previous session run by Martin, but also in the documentation. So now we will move on to a very brief overview of the Client Connect portal. The Portals add-on was released back in 2018 with a sample Client Connect portal to showcase some of the ways in which portals can be used. The idea behind the Client Connect portal was to create an easy way to get a facility for the borrowers or investors to be able to log in and do things like check the status of their accounts or applications, review documents such as statements, and if configured, send or reply to messages with the lender via the portal. We'll log in to using our demo client, Amelia Sample, for this and see what she would see should she log in. Like with finPOWER Connect Cloud, this is customizable in a variety of ways, including adding your own logos and colors. As you can see on the first page, which is the Accounts tab, we see warnings and broadcast messages up the top and alerts that will appear when the and the accounts blocks are showing. We are also showing that she's got an application and a block showing her investment accounts and her many loans. These are all clickable and will take you to those accounts so that you can review information further. For example, if we click on our 10,000, we're taken to a summary for that account, including the type, borrowing role, status, overdue balance, expected maturity date, payment information, and more. The client can edit the account and personalize the nickname should they wish to, and the image shown. If we click here. The client can also, if allowed, edit their payment details directly, or if not allowed, send an update request for a user to action in finPOWER Connect. They can also view their upcoming payments, pause their direct debits, send a hardship request, or review a close quotation. Update requests come through in finPOWER Connect as a log task. Scroll down further and the client can see their transactions, security, documents, and statements. What is available here, as previously mentioned, is customizable depending on the requirements of the business. For example, if they only wanted to make statements available or certain types of documents rather than all of them. The next main tab is the Upcoming tab, which simply displays a list of all upcoming or overdue payments across all accounts. Then we have the Documents tab, which allows the client to access documents across all of their accounts in one place rather than having to click on each account individually. They, of course, have the option to download a copy of their document as well. Messages tab allows a client to send through a secure message to the lender. And in the background, this is client logs. So if a client messages the account manager, we'll have a log task appear for them to review. And on the log itself, there is a reply button in finPOWER Connect, and this threads all the messages together and sends an update through for them to see on their Client Connect portal when you reply. Clients can even upload files if you allow them to do so, which is in the portal configuration, along with allowed file extensions for upload. Next is the My Details tab, where a client can change their password or send an update request through, again using client logs, for a user to review and then approve. Approving will automatically update their contact details in finPOWER Connect, which I'll show you shortly. I don't know why that's not typing for me now, so we'll move on. The final tab is the Contact Us tab page, which can obviously be customized to reflect the lender's information, etc. If you're licensed for portals, you can customize your Client Connect portal via the admin menu, Portals. Some configuration options are also available via the Web Services Web Admin login. The admin library has some very technical aspects to it, including the ability to complete custom coding at a page level and widget modification. So we won't be covering those parts today, but there are a few things I wanted to share. The Client Connect portal has some additional features added since its original release, such as the introduction of multi-factor authentication for portals specifically, with the the settings for which are here with options of none, email code, authenticator app, and SMS code. The general page covers basics like the code for the portal, the setting for the portal's name and icon, the ability to set the version date and flag it as in beta, change the script language between Visual Basic and C#, and importantly, the ability to password protect the portal from unauthorized editing. Security settings can be found here, including the ability to restrict access to the portal based on client groups, user data fields, and web data fields, which can be set by parameter sets like my example here. In this case, the parameter set has a checkbox with a question about portal access. And the name for the field is defined on the portal, as you can see here. Meaning the portal will now look for this field and check that the Boolean value is set to true before allowing access to the portal for this client. The parameter set is defined here on the client group and then appears on the client record, here on the web access page. So in our case here, Amelia Sample has this ticked, and as we could see, was able to log into the portal. While we're on this page, we'll just cover off some of the portal related settings. For example, the ability to set a temporary password and then force the client to change their web password the next time they sign in. And the ability to reset their multi-factor authentication and create emergency codes if the client has locked themselves out. Getting back to the portals form, if we look under the tools area here, there is a configuration button. This launches an easy-to-use widget where changes can be made, such as choosing what warnings to display at the top of each page and setting custom marketing messages. On the broadcast message page, you can set a custom message to appear at the top of the page with important information, perhaps about an upcoming public holiday, as an example. The page settings page allows customization of the page aspects shown, including whether the page is shown at all, actions a client can complete, what documents will be available, and so on. To review this area further, you can see the admin library in the demo database and import the sample portal from your installation folder. If you'd like any further information on the portals add-on, please don't hesitate to contact your Intersoft dealer. We've come to the end of our session for today, and as always, if there's any additional information you seek, don't hesitate to contact application support for user interface queries or code support in relation to code-specific questions. Links to the configuration documents for both finPOWER Connect Cloud and the Client Connect portal will be available in the description below the video. Next week, we'll be reviewing HTML widgets and finPOWER Connect form override options.